Whether you call them draft darlings, my guys, or just your favorite players, we all have these players that we really enjoy throughout the draft process. There are a lot of those guys in this class for me, but one of the most underrated cornerback prospects in the entire draft, who is not really being mentioned with some of these top guys, is Wake Forest cornerback Caelen Carson. Athletically, he's absolutely fantastic, but for whatever reason, he's not been discussed much in this draft class. In today's video, we will be talking about the pros, the cons, and ultimately where I believe Carson will be selected in the 2024 draft. But hey guys, if you guys are new to the channel, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Leave a comment and let me know which players you guys would like to see me talk about in the next video. And without further ado, let's get into it. Carson has had an up and down tenure for the Demondeacons over the last few seasons. He missed a few games in 2022, but he still played in 390 snaps. He allowed 218 yards on 32 targets on the year, while posting 7 pass deflections. He was a player who I had my eye on entering the 2023 season. His production in 2023 was not amazing. He was targeted 64 times and he allowed 436 yards. He had 8 pass deflections, but 0 interceptions in each of the last couple of years. There's some upside here, but the production for Carson has not been elite whatsoever. Carson possesses a big frame for the cornerback position. He is 6 foot, 195 pounds, and he has phenomenal size for an outside corner. He is really long and he has great arm length, he's tall, and overall I really like the frame in which Carson plays with. Carson has really good short area burst, quickness, and speed. He is super quick and will likely run in the low floor 4s, but I'm a big fan of what he has to offer athletically. He closes on the football incredibly quickly and he is there to make a play. He flies all over the field and makes some really nice plays on the ball. In both man and zone coverage, Carson thrives. He has the quickness to close on the football and he just closes incredibly fast, so you love to see that from him. On top of that, Carson plays pretty physical and aggressively. He's consistently getting his hands on the wide receiver, especially in press man coverage, and while I love physicality at the cornerback position, I think Carson can overdo it at times. He has the tendencies to sometimes get too grabby at the catch point, which is something that I don't love to see from him. On top of that, he plays so aggressively and he is always trying to go for the interception. There were multiple plays in which he would do that and it would lead to a completion because he wouldn't finish on the football and then his man is breaking free for a big play. His aggression is great and I love how aggressive he plays, but it is something that I would like to see him tone down just a bit at the NFL level. Carson does a good job crashing against the run, but he is an inconsistent block shedder and an inconsistent tackler. He had multiple instances of missed tackles in the open field, which is an area that I think can improve as well. Carson, in terms of his short area quickness and speed, is electric, and we already talked about that. But when it comes to his deep down the field speed, he's allowed some pretty big plays in college. He tends to lose a step in coverage down the field, and this is yet another area of his that I would like to see improve. I think Carson may be best utilized as a zone corner due to this fact. Lastly, Carson has inconsistent technique. He is an incredible mover and athlete, and he has flexible hips, but he has the tendency to play vertically at times, and he isn't able to move with the same fluidity. He has some inconsistencies in his technique that I think he can improve upon. Carson has some athletic upside, but he is still pretty raw as a prospect. He initially committed to the Senior Bowl and then decided to back out at the last minute, and I personally think this was a mistake. It would have been nice to see him a bit more against great competition, but he decided to back out, and now we don't get to see what that could have been. I was pretty high on Carson coming into the year, but after turning on more of the tape, he has fallen down my board a bit as I have more questions about him. He is still my number 14 corner in the class. He has upside, and I think he could be a good player. He is my number 84 player in the draft. Caelen Carson may work better as a zone coverage guy. He has such great reaction times and he closes so quickly, I could really see him thriving in this scheme. He may be an off-man guy too, but with concerns about his speed down the field and allowing big plays, I think zone could be best suited to get the most out of him at the NFL level. My comparison for Caelen Carson is Cincinnati Bengals impending free agent Chidobe Awuzie. Awuzie is a great zone coverage guy who moves really well, has good speed, but he had some similar concerns coming out of Colorado. He lacks the long speed, he had inconsistencies in run support and tackling, and got a little bit too handsy at times. Awuzie is a very good athlete who has been very productive for both the Bengals and Cowboys since he came into the league, and I see a lot of similarities between him and Caelen Carson, so that is my comparison. Caelen Carson has some athletic upside, but he also has quite a few concerns at the cornerback position. There is some things that we can buy into, and I think he's going to test extremely well at the combine. Ultimately, I believe that Caelen Carson will be a third-round pick in the 2024 NFL Draft.